Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about reducers. And so if you're doing any types of painting or clear coating or priming or anything like that, a lot of the times you may need to go and get a reducer to add to the mixture. And so they do make a lot of different types of reducers. And so I quickly wanted to just show you guys a few things about the reducer so that way as you're spraying, you can hopefully get a lot better results whenever you are laying down whatever material you are spraying. So let's get started. So right here we have a couple of the different reducers that we actually sell. Now of course there's tons of different reducers out there on the market, but these are the three that we actually have and that we use. And so of course you have a fast reducer, a medium reducer, and you have a slow reducer. And so mainly what the reducers are going to be best used for is in the temperature that you are actually spraying. So for instance, if you are in a colder climate, then you might want to go with a fast reducer, mainly because that reducer will be better suited for colder temperatures. If of course you are spraying in say maybe normal room temperature, 70 degrees, something like that, you might want to go ahead and use a medium reducer. Now, of course, a medium reducer is probably a good all around. It's what we actually use almost all the time unless we have something that is really cold or really hot, then we might change reducers. But if you're only needing to just use one, usually the medium is probably the best go-to. And then of course you also have your slow reducer. So if you are down in the south, it is, you know, say 95 degrees wherever you're spraying, and of course it is super hot, then that's where the slow reducer really comes into play. And so the way that we have all of these temperature ranges is mainly in the fact of the evaporation. And so if you have a set standard on your spraying anything, then if you are at say 70 degrees, then this will evaporate at, let's just say, 20 seconds at 70 degrees. Well, if you bring it up to 90, then because it has more heat into it, then it's going to evaporate quicker because it is a chemical and the heat really starts to evaporate that quicker. And of course, the inverse is true as well. If it is colder, then it's going to take longer for this one said reducer to evaporate quickly or slowly depending on what temperature range you're in. And so that's where it becomes a little bit more critical on making sure that you do select the right reducer for the right temperature range that you're using. Because of course, if you're using a, say, fast reducer, but you're using it in a 90-degree weather, then it's going to evaporate just almost instantly or very, very quickly. And so if you're using a medium or a slow reducer, then that's going to help make everything work a lot better, and you're going to have a more uniform dry time from whenever you spray it to whenever you're able to either pick it up or it's ready for another coat or something like that, depending on the material that you're putting the reducer in. So if you are using different reducers, then definitely make sure that you pick it for the temperature range that it's in. Of course, with these right here, we try to put the temperature range on the front of the can, so then that way you can quickly see this is for maybe 50 to 60 degrees, this is for maybe 70 degrees, this is for maybe 80 degrees or something like that. So that way you can quickly tell, and you don't have to remember fast is for this, medium is for that, and of course slow is for this. And if you do, of course, want to use a general all-around reducer, the medium is probably the best go-to, just mainly in the fact of if you are using it in a hotter climate, it will evaporate faster, so you have to adjust your times for that. And then of course the inverse, if you are using a medium reducer for the colder temperatures, then of course you are going to have to let it sit a little bit longer. So if you already know that, then maybe you might not need any of these and you can just stick with the one reducer. But for those of you wondering what all these mean, whether it's a slow or a medium or a fast reducer, that is exactly what they are used for and how they are used. So hopefully this video has really helped you guys out. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, then definitely leave them below. We'd always love to hear from you, as well as if you're looking at using different types of reducers. Hopefully this video has really helped cleared up a lot of things. And as well, let me know your thoughts on different reducers. If you like certain reducers, or of course, if you've used some and they have not worked, one works better than the other. Always love to hear from you guys on that, because of course, having a lot of that input in those comments like that, it really helps everybody out, just all in general, whoever is watching the video. Also, check out the links in the description below. It has links to our website, liquidconcepts.com, where we have everything that you're going to need for the hydrographics, including the reducers that you see here, as well as your paints, primers, even your tanks, your film, your hydrographic activator, everything that you're going to need for the hydrographics. It's all there on the website, so definitely check that out. If you like the video, definitely hit that thumbs up button. YouTube always loves to see that, as well as if you're interested in seeing more content like this, hit that subscribe button. We'd always love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips on anything hydrographics related. I'm Bryan from Liquid Concepts, and this is how we customize your world. We'll see you guys next time.